Hello, hello out there. What is up? I am sitting here with Mr. Murray Lee Rice.
Yo.
Hello, sir.
What up?
Not shit. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, dude, I'm glad I could come.
Yeah, for sure.
It's crazy. I actually have a funny little story. I saw a bunch of my friends have done this podcast.
Oh, yeah?
Craig Heiderkin had done one, and Dan and like Pit Lord.
Yep.
And I was like, dude, I kind of want to do one.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think I followed your page from my page. I was like, hope he gets it. And
Yeah, I got it. I was like, who's this?
You-
Checked out some shit. I was like, oh, okay. I'm going to have to get him in here.
It's just like one of those things where it's like, if you will it to be,
Exactly.
it'll happen.
Exactly. Exactly. Because, yeah, I've just been reaching out to people. I haven't had anyone hit me up. No one's like, let me come on.
Yeah, it might be like, it's probably intimidating.
Yeah.
You never know, like
should you ask to come on?
yeah, right. Or like, you know,
wait to-
it could seem narcissistic. Like you're like, am I important enough to be on a podcast?
yeah, right. Well, if you're cranking out work of some kind,
Right.
we'll get you in here, I guess.
Yeah, right.
But yeah.
I'll let people know.
But yeah, so you're a musician.
Yep, yeah.
Anything else? Mainly focus on music?
Mostly music. I've been writing a lot lately. And that's kind of where the modern myths thing comes in, is I've always enjoyed reading. I was going to go to school for English, but never did because it was kind of taboo. I graduated high school in 2008, and like a lot of my friends wanted English degrees, and they're like, you're going to go to college and not have a job when you're out.
Yeah.
Which is probably true. I know a lot of people that did that. And so I never went, but I still avidly read and write a little bit here and there. But then I was like, you know, I love music, I love writing. How can I combine the two? And so I just started coming up with these wild concept album ideas.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's how Modern Myths came along.
Yeah, Modern Myths recording.
Yeah, yep. And so it's just me, and mostly right now it's record label. I would love to like record other people and kind of get my feet wet doing that, but I don't have a lot of experience doing that. And there's a lot of good people in town that do that.
Right,
so,
right.
like, you know, I'm not like promoting it as like a recording studio. It's more of, I guess you'd say, a label to put all of my concept albums under for the first couple years or something. But I would love to eventually record with a bunch of people. And that's kind of like one of the things I want to do with it is be like a producer in a way, where, you know, I'm going to put out like hopefully 4 concept albums this year.
Yeah.
And they're all kind of like short, you know. The first one I put out was like only 20 minutes. But I kind of want to see, you know, me putting out this weird stuff, people see like a kind of humility in it. And I want to do this thing where if any musician or any writer or anybody has an idea, all they have to do is come to me and be like, hey, I have this idea for this thing. And I go, okay, well, here's some instrumentation that we can do. Or if they know what they want to do, I could go, oh, you need keyboards. Let me call Nick Vasquez, who's my good friend of mine, who's like one of the best keyboard players in town. Or, oh, you want to do a metal project, but you don't play anything, you're just vocalist? Let me call Dan Freitag,
Right.
and get him to do, you know, and just kind of like bring people together in that way, you know, because people do have a lot of good ideas. And I feel like there's not like session setup, like session players that like, you know, can connect these people with their ideas and stuff like that.
That's true. Yeah, around here, I don't really know if any, I don't know if you know, any music, like recording studios around here have normal set musicians or?
Not particularly. Usually, from my experience, is like somebody will kind of just know somebody. But usually, if you're going to go into a recording studio and drop that kind of money, it's usually with a band and you have like your set, what you're going to record. I mean, there probably are instances where there's singers that write songs and go to a recording studio and be like, can you help me find the people?
Sure.
But I kind of want to make that like a thing where you don't have to wonder if that's a thing. Like, I'll just find them for you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's down the road. I just kind of, want to get that going eventually, but it's kind of hard to right now because I don't have the recording experience. So I'm just going to put out, record myself.
Yeah. Welcome anyone in. You would just do it like, if you had other people in, it would just be like, just for the sake of doing it, like just to get like your feet wet, basically.
Right. Yeah. Like I want to like do like live sessions for people for really cheap, like record their band practice pretty much, because it's kind of nice to have demos. Mm-hmm. I've done a couple. One of them I did was a band as big as a mouse. They were writing a new song, and the guitar player singer was like, it's hard for me to come up with lyrics while we're practicing and we only, when we practice is the only time I get to hear the song as it is. So I was like, dude, I'll just come in and record your practice without your lyrics, and then you'll have that demo.
Right.
Granted, it's not like pristine and the best recording ever, but he got a backing track that he could sing to in his car. And I was like, that kind of stuff is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do that for pretty cheap. I think people would catch on a little bit.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
So what are you into writing? Like just writing music itself, or like stories you're saying?
Well,
like...
stories and music and stuff like that. So the first album I did, Animacore 1, I actually wrote the script first. So I wrote out this script, and then I scored it like a film, and then hired voice actors to act over the score.
Okay.
Right. And so it all started, I actually was on Reddit, and there's this really awesome subreddit just called Writing Prompts. And there's this really good writing prompt, and I took it and ran with it, and had, first I wrote the script, not even knowing what I was going to do with it. It was kind of like an exercise kind of thing. And then I had the idea for the music, and then the weird idea for the voice acting. And I kind of just never stopped to think if this was weird or not. I was just kept going.
So it's just an audio album?
Yeah. So the way I've been explaining it is it's kind of like, as redundant as it sounds, watching a movie with your eyes closed. It has all the elements, or like an audiobook.
Yeah.
But it's literally just two people kind of talking dialogue style. And yeah, it turned out, I don't know how I thought it was going to turn out, but it turned out way better than that.
What was it like? Like, did it stick with like a genre or something?
So the music is like really synthy, like movie soundtrack music. So, because my idea was you have this simple music and simple dialogue. The dialogue is pretty simple. It's like a couple sentences per person, nothing too heady, because you don't want to hit them with a lot of information.
Yeah.
So I did less is more, but you get a lot of the story, because a lot of people, I feel like when they're writing, a big mistake they make is assuming their audience is dumb and have to explain everything. But readers pick up on a lot of stuff more than you would know. And so I kept the dialogue really simple, and like the world building kind of simple. And it's an easy concept to understand in the first place. And so you have this simple dialogue, and this really, the music is like, it's all instrumental obviously, and it's really simple and movie soundtracky. But the idea was you take these two simple things to listen to, and you combine them, and it makes this whole piece of art or whatever.
Yeah.
And it turned out pretty well.
Now, is that like, are there parts where it's just like dialogue, or is there music throughout the whole thing?
It's music throughout the whole thing, and spurts of dialogue.
Okay.
And so each track is actually a scene in we'll just call it a movie. So each track is a scene. So track 1 is the opening scene, and they're at a campfire explaining what they're about to do. Track 2 is all of a sudden they're in the spaceship about to take off, and track 3 is I guess I should say
campfire, spaceship. What?
I know. I guess I should say what the story is. So the story is, I never say it's Earth and Mars, but for simplicity's sake, we'll just say it's Earth and Mars. After nuclear fallout on Earth, it's decimated. Earth is decimated, and what's left of humanity gets this plan that some like rogue NASA employees started before the fallout. Because it's like, there's a line that says like, I wish the politicians had the same kind of foresight as the NASA employees did, because it's nuclear fallout, everybody kind of saw it coming. And so these scientists get a hold of these plans and come up with and execute them, and the plan is to go to Mars to explore it and see if we can make it habitable. It's pretty simple. Like, there's a bunch of stuff like that coming out right now. Mm-hmm. And so that's the initial idea. And I mean, I don't mind giving away the plot twist either, because it's a really short story, and whatever, I'll just give it away. But so when they get to the planet, they start exploring, and they notice weird stuff going on, like these large craters that are like larger than any meteorite could make. And they start making these little observations. And then the end of it is the twist where they discover human remains. And this is said in the story before, I'm telling it back right now, but they're the first people to ever go to space and explore this planet. So when you get to the planet and find human remains, you're like, what the fuck is going on? And that's why I call it a philosophical sci-fi short story, is because it revolves around this whole theme of eternal return or Ouroboros, where it's like what we did to Earth happened on Mars. We did that, and it just kind of keeps cycling through. And I think it's a pretty popular theory. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
How long is that album?
It's about 18 to 20 minutes.
Cool.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I fit all that information in there in 18 to 20 minutes through the dialogue, but the dialogue is so simple yet self-telling that you don't feel like I'm just like doing what I just did, being like, this is this. Like, there's no like announcer or narrator on the album that goes, the year is blah, 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 you know?
Right.
And I just kind of let the story tell itself, and it seemed to work.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that released anywhere?
Yep, it's on iTunes, Apple Music, Bandcamp, all that kind of stuff. I used DistroKid and just uploaded it.
Right.
Yeah.
And what was that called?
It's called Animacori 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the name. Animacori is actually the process that the name of the process that dandelions use to disperse their seeds. So it's kind of the poetic, like, you know,
yeah.
the earth is the dandelion, and you know, it's the last chance to get its seeds out.
Little space shuttle's the seed.
Yep,
whatever.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So
is
that's
an interesting theory, like about how like people have that theory that we might maybe in some distant world, like maybe humans inhabited Mars and fucked it up and then we came here or something.
Right,
Who
yeah.
knows? What do you think of that theory? Do you think that's like true?
Not really. I mean,
because Mars is like closer to the sun, right?
Right,
So-
yeah. And they're finding the evidence of water and stuff like that. I don't think so. I think it'd be really cool. But
It's always cool to think like I wish.
right, yeah. I don't know. I kind of I learned a lot about space and all that stuff when I was like in high school, and I kind of fell off of it. But
Yeah.
I still love it. It's still really
Oh, yeah.
interesting to me.
Super interesting.
So, I mean, it could have happened.
I hate people like, oh, science is so boring.
No,
it's like crazy.
Well, it's I'm really bad at math.
Yeah.
And so that always kind of deterred me. But like theoretical science is really cool.
Yeah.
Like I used to read this author's name's Brian Greene. He wrote I think it's called it's something about he's one of the pioneers of writing simplistically about the string theory. Like he doesn't use any math. He teaches at one of the bigger colleges, like the Ivy League colleges, teaches astrophysics or whatever. Probably not, who knows. But he writes really like the common man way and explains everything really well.
Shit, I need to read that shit.
Yeah,
I'm not very good with math. Complex math anyway.
No, and this dude, he's like heralded for doing, like, he's been on Stephen Colbert and stuff like that.
Okay.
He's just heralded for, taking these really complex scientific ideas and making them easy to understand and presentable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Brian Greene, check it out.
I'll have to get him on the podcast next episode.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be down.
Yeah, we'll fly you out, all expense paid.
Yeah.
But
so the album was just this crazy idea. I had a buddy. I mean, I worked on it for like almost a year, on and off. I had a buddy who was like, how much acid did you take to get that idea to do like the voice actors and stuff? I was like, it was just weed, but it was just like kind of one of those things where I had a crazy idea and nothing to stop me from pursuing it.
Right.
And I was just like, I'm just going to do it. And I did it. And the moral of the story is always follow your crazy ideas.
yeah, and that's the good thing is to like, I mean, as a musician and everything, as a creative person, especially in this day and age, it seems like most anyone that's doing stuff like we're doing, they have like their own, like label in a sense, right? Like
Right.
Modern Myths or whatever, We do the same thing with our MOB shit, like Mine's Obliterating Boundaries, that we release our music through it and whatever.
Right.
It's just like a platform to release your shit. So yeah, it's cool being able to you have this platform basically for yourself, so you can just do whatever you want.
Right, exactly.
Freedom to explore all these different ideas and everything.
Yeah, and it's really nice. I love that idealism of like, we have the technology is capable. We have it, and it's relatively inexpensive.
We can actually like buy it now.
If you have the gusto and the idea and the patience and all that stuff that it takes to do what you're doing, what I did, it's readily available. Like, I mean, you can do anything.
Right.
You just have to have the drive and the focus to do it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I was just thinking about kind of like the same idea where in the past year I've been learning recording and stuff like that, and I can't afford to go to college, but everything's out there.
It's fucking YouTube University.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All you have to do is know what to learn. and it's super easy.
Yeah.
Like I've been like listening to this really good fantasy writers lectures on YouTube about writing and speaking about the craft. There's literally university classes on YouTube.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And it's just kind of like, if you know what you want to do, the resources are endless.
Yeah. And not just YouTube, but I did know of, there was like a couple websites. I wish I remembered what they were called so I could shout them out. It's like you can go on there and literally get actual like college courses for, one of the website was like completely free. Another one might be like very, very cheap.
Like MIT did something like that, where they released like some of their course stuff.
It's like, what are we paying tens of thousands of dollars for to go to the school?
Dude, that stuff's so weird to me. I never went to college.
Yeah, I had like some college, community college.
Right.
Like nothing
and it's
crazy.
Just all that thing is a piece of paper that says you know how to do the thing.
Yeah, and
experience is really important. And if you're smart enough and have the drive, you can do something. You can teach yourself and gain your experience that way, and go around all this weird needing to go to college stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I think
for most things.
Yeah, I think like one of the most valuable skills for people, especially like young people nowadays, to have is like the ability to like be your own teacher, or being able to like easily learn new information on your own, because it's not like you're sitting in a classroom forced to take in whatever and then have your tests next week on it or whatever. It's like so if you can like have the discipline and like at least a little bit of smarts to like be able to learn well enough on your own just by watching YouTube or whatever, then that's like super valuable to have, because I think college is just the same thing. It's just you have someone there like guiding you through it or something. You got your teachers and deans and this and that.
Somebody told me college, it doesn't teach you things, it teaches you how to learn things. It teaches you how to get by and learn information properly. But I mean, if you got the drive, do it yourself. I think the hardest part is just knowing what you want to do and finding your passion, because after that it's super easy. Because once you figure out this is what I want to do, then that stuff's not work anymore. It's a hobby. Learning's a hobby now. Like it's fun.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I always considered like, I was going to go to college for film. Originally, I think that was my idea, and I've always been into other things too, like creatively, music, art, whatever. And I could have got like a job, I guess, in the movie industry or something. Who knows? And that would have been well and good. But it's probably best I didn't, because I don't know. I probably would have gotten burnt out of that maybe, because I'm always like doing lots of different projects, like whether it's music, art, film, different types of things. And it's like I find like if I had to focus on one thing like forever, I'd probably like go crazy or something.
I always use the example of like, I really like to cook. I love to cook, but it's a hobby. People are like, why don't you like open a restaurant? Why don't you cook in a kitchen? I'm like, because it would ruin it for me.
That'd be horrible.
I worked on a line once and it was awful, and I was like, I never want to do this again. Or like when I was in high school and I worked at a dishwasher at like a meat market, and I'd get home, my mom's like, you want to do the dishes? I'm like, fuck no, I don't.
Of course not. You're not paying me to do the dishes, Mom. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, taking your loves and interests and making them a career is pretty crazy. But yeah, if you did the route where you went to film school and were a director or a cinematographer or something like that,
and it would suck even at first, because I'd have to start out as like a fucking production assistant or something, yeah, exactly, go get the coffee or whatever.
And then by the time you got to where you want to be, you might hate it.
And even then, it's like I'm doing something I love to do, but it's like I don't love making your movie. I want to make my movie. Like I'm just like selfish in that way, I guess. Like I can only focus on stuff I want to do.
And I think a lot of like companies, or like I guess the powers you'd be, call them, whoever picks the scripts, are kind of they're accommodating to this new like people like us who do passion projects and stuff, like everything Netflix is picking up. Those kids, they're just like writing scripts at home. I mean, I'm sure they went to film school and did all this stuff properly, but it's still like that idea of like, people, they care about now are the ideas or the projects or what you've got. They're not going to look at some like your college resume and then your idea. They just care about the idea now. So that's kind of dope.
I had a guy in here, Josh Davidson, shout out he started a thing called Josh and Around Studios, like a local like film company.
Oh,
basically.
really?
Yeah, and he's doing like small independent films, like feature-length films, basically.
I wonder if he needs somebody to score his movies.
Yeah. Hey, man, hit him up. Yeah, and he, using local actors and everything. And I think he does a lot of the music too himself. He's kind of all over the place also.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was really interesting talking to him, learning about that whole thing, because he went to school for film. He did, and that was like, I think he said it was like somewhere around like maybe a decade ago or something.
Oh, okay.
And it's like he learned a lot of good basic shit, like for film, obviously. But even then, it's like technology wise, like things have changed since then. Even as far as, like,
yeah,
equipment and everything.
Constantly learning.
Yeah, but he's been putting out independent films himself. He was able. He had got like a distributor, so he got them on like Amazon and shit.
Yeah, right.
And they're also available in like hella other countries.
Oh, that's
foreign
dope.
languages and shit. And all that shit, just through the distributor.
That's nice.
And he was talking about like, there's other like, he's like a small independent filmmaker, and it's not like Paramount, like a huge movie company, but in between there's like other smaller production companies and shit that they're kind of looking sometimes to like throw money at the right person.
Right.
Like, he was talking about like, he might have got the connection through his distributor. I don't know if it was the distributor themselves or another company that like they were looking for a script, and they asked maybe a handful or so of like these filmmakers to like, hey, write us a script, and they probably would have picked the one that they liked the most, and they asked him to do it too. It's like, so he could get his foot in the door that way.
Yeah.
Starting out independent, find some other motherfuckers throw money at you.
Right. Yeah.
Because if he proved himself, like he has movies out already that are decent. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Exactly. So it's like, yeah, you can just now do this shit yourself.
Right.
He would have had to go to film school and worked for like 21st Century Fox or some shit, like work your way up the fucking corporate ladder, become producer, director, I don't know. But it's interesting.
Yeah, this route's way more fun.
Way more fun. Yeah.
It's a lot more work. I drove myself crazy, man, because, and that's the downfall of this whole like we can do everything ourselves mentality, is sometimes you don't have somebody working with you to like calm you down or like be like, your idea is fine. Because there were times when I was in the middle working on Animal Quarry 1, I was like losing my mind, because I was like, why am I putting so much time and energy in this like weird idea I had? Because it's just a lot of stress putting together a project like that, or any project, and there's a lot of self-doubt that comes with that, and sometimes you're just like, why the fuck am I putting, because it's just you're just doing everything yourself, and sometimes you're just like, why the fuck am I doing this, like putting so much work and effort into this thing that I don't even know if anybody's gonna listen to it. It was my first album.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't even know if anybody's gonna listen to it. I don't know if this is a good idea. And so that's like the kind of the downfall of this do-it-yourself kind of thing, is not working with somebody. I'm like, if anybody else is doing stuff like this, find some confidants, find some good friends that appreciate art and will be honest with you, because that really fucking helps. It super does.
But you didn't quit.
No, I didn't. Yeah, perseverance is key. Always keep on keeping on. But yeah,
is that just the passion driving you?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I kind of it's kind of morbid, but a couple of years ago, I kind of had this like epiphany of like, you always think about death and all that stuff. It's inevitable. Everybody's gonna die. And I was like, if I fucking die right now, all I have to show for it is like 3 years of bartending and being in a cover band.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do that. Like, I don't want that to happen. I'd rather, and I always make these jokes where, I would love for people to listen to my stuff right now. That's great and well. That'd be awesome. But I'm not expecting, to be famous in my lifetime. Like you can't, I don't want to work towards that. Like, that's lame. I'd rather be like Beethoven or somebody who is posthumously famous. Like, I'd rather just have my work out there. And so,
then you don't have all the stress of becoming famous.
Right, yeah, dealing with all that, dealing with the fame. No, yeah, so I just kind of developed this mentality of, I'm just going to put out as much stuff as I can. And just any idea I have, it's going through.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And so, and it is morbid that it came around, because I was like, if I die, I don't have anything. But it kind of takes that kick in the ass.
For sure.
Yeah. And it's just, why do we create? I don't know, but it's there, and I like to do it.
I think that's a human thing.
Right.
I saw something posted on the internet today, I think, talking about how they were saying like, it sucks that things like being a musician or artist have become like professions. Like you know, you work towards being a professional musician, or,
Right, yeah.
you know, a great master artist or something. And they're saying that that kind of seems to like maybe put other people off from doing that. Like, oh, you got to pursue this as like a thing. Like, oh, I'm working towards being a great artist or something. When really, it should just be like something that humans like instinctively do.
Right.
It doesn't matter how bad you are. It's like drawing, dancing, making music. It should be something that everyone does.
Right.
That's
exactly
basically what they were getting at.
Yeah.
Because and maybe like some people's lives are lacking if they're maybe not doing that, or at least some form of creative outlet, something, writing. I don't know.
I'm a big advocate for people just having hobbies.
I know.
It's kind of like an epidemic in this town. I don't know if you deal with it a lot, but it's just like the drinking in this town is insane to me. All my friends, I mean, I drink and, you know, go to shows and stuff, but like I've watched so many people just be content watching sports TV in a bar for 6 hours straight.
Yeah.
And that scares me. And honestly, I mean, it's just like where you get your fulfillment from. It's just crazy to me. Like, I love reading. You know, I'm not like trying to toot my own horn. Like, not everybody needs to sit at home and read for 5 hours straight, but do something. Like, get a hobby, be active, and not even physically active. Like, I read and eat pizza in bed. You know what I mean? But I think everybody needs like a hobby, needs kind of like that healthy outlet for whatever. I mean, it just helps out a lot. Like, my quality of life has like shot up since like I realized that. Because before, when I was like 19 to 23, I was bartending 5 days a week. You know, the money was nice, but I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is not fun for me. You know, you start hating your life and you're like, why? And then, you know, I started reading and working on music and, you know, doing a bunch of passion projects, and everything kind of got up from there. Yeah, everybody needs a hobby.
I don't fuck with the bar scene. I'm not into that look. I don't even drink myself, so that's one reason.
That's good.
Even then, it's like I'm too cheap. I'm not paying $5 for or whatever. Like, I'm trying to buy more fancy mics.
Right. Yeah. That's I literally all my money goes to gear, art, and all that stuff, and I'm fine with it. But yeah, drinking, it's just one thing, and I as like I'm not a connoisseur, but like I appreciate, like, I like breweries and stuff like that, and you know, all that stuff's good and well. I love like the craft and all that stuff, but it's just like the whole mentality of like, I think people will just watch too much TV and they see like, you know, like how you met your mother or your friends, where they're always hanging out outside at some place, and they feel like that's like, no, that's just like 10 minutes in those people's lives. But people are like, have that fear of missing out, they call it, or like the feeling that they need to be out and like experiencing all this stuff. It's just like, then you're at a bar 5 days a week and you're like, what the fuck?
There's a lot of people that say like, oh, I want to go out. Let's go out. But going out to them just means going and sitting somewhere and drinking.
Right, or just seeing how drunk you can get.
Yeah, that could be part of your night, but you know, maybe go see a movie, do an activity. I don't know, but and I also, like you're saying, it seems depressing, all the people like at bars just sitting there. I feel the same way about people that just get off work and watch Netflix until they go to sleep.
Right, and that's like the whole binge watching thing, because I've done it.
We've all done it.
Yeah, and it's mostly like attached to depression for me, so I don't like, you know, just binge watching stuff. But it's like every show I've ever binge watched, I don't remember any of it. Like I don't absorb any of the plot. I'm not engaged. And yeah, I feel like people are like, oh, like I love movies, I love watching them, or I love TV shows. But when they do like the binge watching thing, I feel like it's just they're not picking it up, or they're not like actively watching, or like what do you call it? Like not constructively watching, but like thinking about what you're actually watching, and like,
I know there's a word I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I can't think of it either.
God damn it. I'm too stupid to know this.
Everybody knows what we're talking about.
You know.
Right.
But
I just feel, it just feels like it's so fad based, that like Netflix and binge watching stuff. It's like, you know, oh, you watch that. It just came out. Yeah. Like that whole thing. You just watch the whole thing and then it's done. You never revisit it. You never talk about it again. It's kind of weird to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I like watching a lot of stuff. I usually, I'm like a nerd for like animation and stuff. I usually watch cartoons or I don't know, awesome. Or interesting, maybe like art shows or something. But,
right.
When I think about it, it's like I feel like I can recall TV shows pretty well, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
But then, you know, when I think about like movies I've seen in the theater, it's like I don't fucking remember that movie at all. Like I don't remember shit.
It's like sensory overload.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Or I remember, I don't know if like people still do this, but definitely before like the age of streaming, it's like you would have 5 DVDs of like your good movies, and that's what you watched all the time.
Yeah.
And like you got really familiar with stuff. I feel like maybe that's like a lost art form now. Like,
Yeah.
with you know, nobody watches the same thing twice anymore. There's always something new to watch. So like, you know, you watched a Netflix series and you liked it, but you never like go back and watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's kind of important to do. Or like rereading books. You know, you always catch different stuff. You know, you become acquainted with the story.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, when I think of rewatching shows, I'm always like, I'll rewatch like the cartoons I'm into. It's like,
Yeah.
and that's like, even if it's like some old school Nick or Cartoon Network shit or something, that's like recalling like from when I last seen it when I was like younger or some shit. And I don't know, and that's cool for me. I get like inspired by watching that shit because I'm into like art and animation myself.
Yeah.
But
do you ever I always get intimidated, not like intimidated, but like I get like inspired pretty, like when I watch something and I like it, I like obsess over like what I liked about it. And like so like Anna McCory 1 is, I started writing that after I watched the first season of True Detective, and I was obsessed and I loved it, and I used some of the themes from the show. And yeah, so it's like if I know I'm gonna watch something and it's gonna be really good, I have to be ready to be like, all right, this is gonna be like, I'm gonna watch it and then I'm gonna get super inspired or like super crazy about it. I'm gonna watch it like 9 times, and then, you know, this whole slew of things that are about to happen.
Right.
Yeah. So sometimes when I know something's good, I'm like, I'm not ready for it yet.
Yeah.
I gotta finish this project first, because I'm very one track minded, and which helped when you're working on stuff like albums and stuff like that. So if I get too distracted, I'll like leave something behind. I don't want to do that.
You're gonna end up with just a fucking portfolio of unfinished work or something.
Right,
That's
yeah.
a big problem with a lot of, that seems to be a problem with like artists a lot of the time, like
Oh, dude,
not finishing projects.
It's a huge musician's problem right now, especially now everybody can do everything themselves, and there's nobody to tell them that it's done. I have like countless songs that are probably done, but I'll never say they're done. And, you know, all these like little instrumental albums and stuff like that. It's just, yeah, it's hard to be like, say when something's done and release it. And yeah, I feel like a lot of people are the same way, where they have a backlog of a bunch of songs and they don't want to release them because they don't think they're done, or they're working on too many at one time kind of thing. And that's when like I have hopefully 4 different concept albums coming out, and I put a halt to all of them to get that first one done. I was like, I can't stop. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. Like, it's kind of whole shit or get off the pot kind of thing.
Yeah, that's good. I'm totally guilty of that shit.
I know,
because I do hip hop through Mill City Mob, and we got like, and that's just hip hop. It's not even like, you know, I mean, we do most of the beats ourselves and everything, but it's not like, you know, I don't have to record drums, guitars, or that shit anymore. You know, when it's that, but I'm just now like, I'm trying to get my creative shit together, like, because we're finally about to release like some music that's like old shit. It's new for y'all, but like if you hear it, but like, yeah, just some shit we've never released. So I'm trying to get that finally out of the way so I can stop like thinking about like these songs I've never released. So I can just get onto some more fresh shit, you know. But trying to get that shit pumped out, and then hopefully I'll stay steady with just being current. Yeah, because like I said, I bounce between other types of projects like music, film, whatever. But yeah, I'm trying to, when it comes to like music and everything, usually the problem seems to be with music. Like if I'm filming something, I get that shit done. I don't really have those projects sitting around much. But yeah, when it comes to music, it's like, all right, I got to get this shit pumped out, so I can just focus on current shit and just keep it that way. So I don't have backlogs piling up, just unfinished whatever.
Just get in the habit of putting them out.
Yeah, so maybe I'll get my shit together this year or next year.
Who knows?
Don't count on it.
It's do it for yourself. I mean, that's one of the biggest things too, is you always just got to do it for yourself. You know, don't be putting stuff out there because you think other people, you know, are waiting for it or something like that. Just do it for yourself.
Yeah, I know. No one's waiting for us.
Yeah, no, not for me.
Yeah, and that's the other thing where it's like you're doing it because of the passion project. We do that with like our, you know, our little videos and shit. If it's like short films or like a fucking music video or something, no one's watching this.
Right, yeah.
But we love it.
Yeah, it's just so weird too. That was the first album I put out, but I've noticed, maybe it's just me, I don't know, like I just think that a lot of people locally don't listen to each other's music a whole lot. And I feel like, I don't know why it is really. I have a theory that it's like everybody knows each other in one way or another. We're a pretty small town as far as people our age go. And, you know, sometimes it is kind of weird, like listening to your friend Steve's CD and his voice in your car, and it's just you, and you're like, that's my friend.
Right.
Like, it's kind of weird, you know, you listen to your friend's stuff or something like that. But I feel like we all could benefit if we just listen to each other's stuff more. So I've been trying to. I've got a playlist on my phone of like all local stuff that people have like published.
Nice.
And trying to, it's just like, I believe, so a good example is I went to go see Sleep, which is like this heavy metal drone, like awesome band. They're fucking dope. I went to go see them at Codfish Hollow. They're really popular. They sold it out and they're good. But the whole time I was listening to them, there's a band in town. Dan Freitag is actually the front man of it, called Resonator. And they're
Shout
fucking
out.
Yeah, they're dope. I love them. And they kind of do the Sleep thing, but better. I was like listening and I was like, this is good, but I like Resonator shows more.
Nice. Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, you could probably go through every local band and compare them to the most popular thing they sound like. And I mean, local bands are just as good.
Yeah,
and
dude.
Trying to get that mentality to people, like, you know, you only like this stuff because it's popular for everybody. Like, and I have a theory too, is like when you go to listen to music, I think a lot of people go for what people tell them to listen to. A lot of people don't actively go like search for new music. Their friend told them to listen to this new Tame Impala album, and so they're gonna go listen to the new Tame Impala album when you've got freaking Condor Jaybird in town, who are just as good and are fucking dope. You know what I mean? So stuff like that, where I wish people would start, you know, instead of going for what's big, is like look locally, because you're gonna find just as good stuff here.
Yeah, I've been doing
go see $5 show.
right. Yeah, way cheaper and everything usually. But yeah, I've been doing the exact same shit. I've been trying to like look for new local music to listen to and shit, because it's like, what? And I mean, in general, just look for new music, because there's like, you know, the joke of like, I've been listening to the same shit for 20 years, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's true. I still listen to a lot of old shit I've been
It's crazy because
listening to, but yeah.
Music is so tied in nostalgia. There's some stuff I like just because there's a nostalgia of me liking it at a certain point in my life.
Yeah.
Where like I needed to listen to that, or I listened to it at the right time. And that's why I think a lot of people don't listen to a whole lot of new music, is because they just have those albums and those bands that are just nostalgia deep for them. And it's hard to get away from that.
Yeah. And it's like shit I like to listen to, obviously.
Oh,
so it's like, I love to, it doesn't, like, all of it doesn't get old to me unless I, you know, listen to it too much at one time. But it's always nice to come back and listen to something that you've liked for a long time. But yeah, I'm trying to get out of that habit and like find new music like every year, like, and not just like a new band that I've never heard of that I'll check out a few songs. Like I want to find like at least like some new bands each year that like I check out like a lot of their work, you know, listen to whole albums and all that.
Yeah.
Cause I'm bad at that too. I'm really bad at like listening to whole albums nowadays.
Well, that's what's awesome about the whole vinyl trend coming back, is because you have to listen to the full album.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love listening to full albums. I think there's a lot of merit in an album that you can listen to front to back. But yeah, with like streaming and stuff like that, you don't have to listen to a whole album. I kind of messed up a little bit so Animal Corey 1 uploaded it to Spotify, and then I'm kind of an idiot because I wrote an album that you have to listen to front to back. Like it's a story. It's a line. And unless you have Spotify Premium, that Spotify is going to shuffle my album. So it's going to turn into this like weird Christopher Nolan memento.
You can't choose. I'm not even on Spotify, so like you can't choose to just listen to it straight through.
No. If you pay for like a Spotify account, then you can play albums front to back. But if you just have the app and listen to music, it shuffle plays. Yeah. So that's how they get you. One of the ways they get you to pay for it is no ads, and then you can listen to whatever you want, how you want.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Right,
so yeah, it's like, don't listen to my album on Spotify.
Or get that premium.
Oh, speaking of like uploading and stuff like that, so I paid for DistroKid. I did like a studio label option. DistroKid's like the uploading service that will put it on all the iTunes and all that stuff. So I have like 10 available band names I can use. If there are any local musicians that are having problems getting their stuff out digitally, they should hit me up because I'll put it up on there.
Yeah.
I think it's more important for them to have their music up than me not using all my spots to.
Nice. So they allow you to have, you say, like 10 or something?
So I bought the record label package because the stuff I'm putting out, you know, is under my name, under Murray Lee, but like some of my projects I'll have like pseudonyms. And so like I bought one that, because one package was like you only get one band name. So I got the record label one, which allows me to have 10 different band names, and I'll probably use 3 of them, honestly.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find some people that need to put their stuff up digitally.
That's what you could do through like Modern Myths. Get some bands that you record with on your label in a sense, I guess. And yeah, have them through there.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to feel like they have to be like on my label to get it uploaded. Sure. I'll just upload it. But yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. It'd make me look cooler.
Yeah. But like it would be cool, like if you found, like, just creatively for you, if you found other bands that you would fuck with recording with, and then you could maybe have your creative input with them in a sense, like as a producer or something. But yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
But yeah, so I'm trying to just find new music at least every year of something I'll listen to like a lot of. Like something that I'll listen to in the future, I'll keep coming back to listen to, and not just something I'll forget about, because I'm on YouTube a lot just watching music videos, so I'm not always listening to full albums and shit. But I've also been trying to do that a lot with local music too, just finding local people that I want to keep listening to that I haven't heard of or whatever. And I realized that there's a lot of great shit out there locally.
Yeah, like, it's nuts.
It's like, well, this is I'm listening, I'm like, why is this not like on the charts or on the radio or something? It sounds just like some of this good shit that's like, you know,
or just more local support.
Right. Nice. I mean, it's easy. Everyone wants to. It's easy for everyone to post like support local music and shit, but but are you?
but are you? Yeah, I kind of want to get a huge playlist of all the local stuff.
Hey, that's what I need to do. I need to get a playlist for it so I can keep track or something.
Oh yeah. Good idea.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, like the listen to new music thing. I know a buddy who one of his friends is like really avid about listening to new music, and at the end of the year they do the top 10 albums that came out that year. You have to pick something that came out that year, and 10 albums. So I feel like that's over a year. If you could find 10 albums that came out within that year that you like, that'd be good.
Another thing is you could stop listening to all popular music and like just find all local artists, like even from other towns, just dig into their local scene or something, and that'd
be kind of cool.
You wouldn't even have to listen to popular music, because it would be shit. A lot of times it's just as good or better, whatever. But
people are too lazy for that shit.
Yeah, like what?
I'm just gonna put on Spotify's top played songs of all time.
This is what the internet told me to listen to. But so you're also involved with Rude Punch?
Oh yeah, my Rude Boys.
That's correct. Ooh, Rude Boys.
Rude Boys.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I've been in the band for about a year and a half now.
Yeah, and because they've been around for a long time.
They have been around a long time, 10 years plus easily. It's first started with Brady and Adam for sure. Brady's lead singer and guitar player, and Adam's the drummer. And I'm not sure who their first bass player is, so if I get this wrong, I'm sorry. But Al Sweet was in the band, who was the lead singer of Candy Makers.
Okay.
He was one of the original bass players.
Nice.
And then they've just been kind of kicking it ever since. They've got 2 albums. We got 2 albums on our belt, which I wasn't a part of. But now that I've joined the band, we've started writing. We've got a couple new songs, always working on more, and we're actually recording a single right now. And I'm trying to do it all myself. Well, we're doing it all, but I'm taking the brunt of the work. So if anything goes wrong, it's my fault.
Where do you guys record at?
So they have been practicing in their Brady's parents' basement for like the past 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's a nice setup. We've got it treated and everything, and that's where we're doing it now.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Hell yeah.
I think we just got done tracking drums and bass, which is like tracking drums, and when you're like thinking about making a single, and like it's pretty freaking intimidating.
Yeah.
So we got that down. I think they sound good as far as I know.
I was wondering if you're going to have any other stuff released through Modern Myths or...
I don't know. I mean, I could, but I feel like they're 2 separate things. Yeah, because Modern Myths is just my weird hipster solo stuff. I don't know if they want to be a part of that.
Like,
But Brady,
we don't know.
Brady was the main character in
Oh,
Animal
okay.
Corey 1. He did the male voice, and Whitney did the female voice, Persephone.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Whitney Bowton.
You said
She's great.
Brady and what was the other guy? Adam?
Adam Tucker.
Are
Yeah.
they're both still in the band?
Yeah. Or OG members.
They're the only two OG members?
Yep.
Okay.
They're the ones left. And bass player is Jack Hill now,
Nice.
who's a great guy. He's dope. A really good bass player.
What led to you getting involved with them?
Dude, it's not the craziest story, but it's the funniest story because it's probably the only time this has ever happened and it actually worked. I was straight up at Guitar Center looking for at MIDI controllers. I don't even know why, because I'm like a decent piano player, but I'm not like a piano player.
Right.
And I was just shopping for like a new MIDI controller. I can't remember what for, and I've kind of known Brady a little bit. I've seen Rude Punch. I know him. He used to work at Vans, and I used to deliver liquor there. And so I kind of know him. We vaguely knew each other a little bit, but never even had a conversation. And he sees me looking at keyboards, and he goes, "Hey, man, you play keys?" I go, I can a little bit, yeah. He's like, "Why don't you come to practice? We're looking for a keyboard player." I'm like, "All right." And I went to their practice, and I've been in the band ever since.
Just keys?
Now I play keys and guitar.
Okay.
So I play keys and lead guitar. Yeah, but that's like, that's the only time, because everybody at Guitar Center, there's one guy jamming out on guitar, and the other guy comes up and is like, "Hey man, you want to start a band with me?" Or like, you know what I mean? And they never do.
There's just people hanging around Guitar Center. "Hey, want to start a band? Hey, want to start a band?"
I got this idea for this project. Yeah. And
They're
they
like
never followed
they're
through
like
with it.
crackheads. Get away from me.
Get away
You
from me.
vagrants.
But yeah, it's funny because like that's probably one of the few times it actually worked out.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And dude, it's been great. And like I said earlier, I think before we started, I will always love Rude Punch. They're like my outlet for live music. Like sitting and writing and recording and doing all that stuff is a lot of fun, but I'll always have that need to go out and play live.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great feeling. It's fun.
To be honest with you, I don't even like going to shows as much, just in the sense that I'm just standing like, now I want to play a show.
I know, right?
Like,
I always get like, it feels narcissistic in a little bit, but I always get that like, I hope the guitar player breaks his fingers, and they're like,
Can anybody out there
play a song? And you're like, yes,
this is my time.
this is my moment.
Yeah.
It never happens.
It's happened sometimes throughout history. Like back in the day, like that happened with like the Who.
Yeah, the drummer
Keith
passed
Moon
out.
passed out, and some fan. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Like if there's a fan, you get to play their show. Like, oh, I'm gonna go see the Who. If that wasn't like badass enough, then like,
Right.
I got to play with the fucking Who. That'd be like the best story you could ever tell in your life.
That guy told that story every day for the rest of his life.
That was like your crowning achievement. Like that would be insane. Like
Oh yeah,
a big ass band.
right. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Paul McCartney just played here.
Oh yeah,
What if he's like, all right, the keyboarder's down.
yeah, right.
Murray,
Yeah, right.
we need.
Shit, I need to learn more songs. That's like one of my downfalls, but probably what helped me out in like learning how to songwrite is I didn't learn a whole lot of songs.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're learning an instrument, you do,
Yeah.
but I never like actively was like, I'm gonna do these covers or I'm gonna learn this song because I like it.
Yeah.
I knew them and I like learned some Radiohead songs and whatnot, and got my style down. But I got to a point where I just stopped caring about learning songs.
Seriously, yeah. I used to take lessons when I was young and shit. And
Right.
yeah, you would learn some songs you're into or whatever. And yeah, I really grew out of that. I was just like, I'm trying to fuck around and write some shit or something. I don't know. I just get too fucking bored or something.
Right, yeah. People get stuck in thinking they need to play other people's stuff.
Yeah.
They don't.
But shit. So you got. Well, do you know any of the history of Rude Punch as far as like where they got that name or anything?
Nope.
No idea.
Brady says it's a drink. Because I
Okay.
always make the
Makes
joke. I'm
sense.
like, I'm in not nice hit. And he's like, it's not even a rude punch like a punch. It's like a drink. So I don't know where he got it from, actually. It is an interesting name, though.
If someone out there listening knows, tell us in the comments. What the fuck is a Rude Punch?
What is a rude
You guys
punch?
should serve them at every show.
Yeah. Well, we
Offer them up.
do have an energy drink, which is funny.
Really?
I don't drink energy drinks, but from what I hear, it's pretty good.
You have an energy drink,
So-
you guys?
Great River puts it out with us, and this guy named Chopper, what up Chopper, he partnered with Great River and had the idea to make an energy drink through them, and he called it Rude Punch. Yeah.
What? How did you guys partner to?
This is before.
That's interesting.
This is before I joined the band, so I have no idea about the logistics. I know it's there.
But they still do it and everything.
You can buy it at Ivy.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, I know, like Condor and Jaybird and some others are, sponsored by Mama Basso and all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard of, especially a local band. Y'all got a drink?
Yeah. Yeah, right? Isn't that
You guys are
crazy?
doing it big. Fuck.
Yeah. It's probably just because of the name, too. They're like...
Did you just get cases sent to you guys or something?
I think Jack has cases of it in his fridge.
Like, where's my cut of the fucking profit?
I've seen Jack shotgun a Rude Punch.
Man.
That was pretty interesting. He's a crazy dude.
I'm impressed. That's impressive.
Yeah, but I don't drink energy drinks, so I don't.
Yeah.
It's weird because I'm in a band that has an energy drink, and I don't drink them.
Nice to say. Maybe they could get you a tour bus, wrap it with the logo or something, and send you out cross country, fucking promote this energy drink.
Right. Nah, I'm good.
Nah, that's all right.
I'm just gonna help them write songs.
Do you guys have bottled water? Your own brand of bottled? That's what I drink.
That's what I drink.
But so you got 4 other concept albums you're thinking about?
I think that's what I'm up to. So,
you've done them, or are they like in?
One of them. So I guess I'll just talk about the one that's about to come out. So, the next one I'm going to come out with. What I did is I wrote like an original Greek myth, and it's all in lyrics, so it's not like super intense, but. So I wrote a Greek myth and put it to like Americana folk music. So kind of think like "Oh Brother Where Art Thou," but I use the actual names of the gods and goddesses, and it's an original story. Right. So because I've always loved "Oh Brother Where Art Thou," and it was so cool because how it is the story of the Odyssey essentially. And so I kind of took that idea, and I wrote an original story, and this one it's kind of like my protest album or like my folk album in a way, because the rundown of the story is Zeus is seducing a woman as like he always does, and Hera sees him courting this woman and kills the woman, and turns out her husband is not very happy about that, and so it's his revenge story.
The husband's revenge story.
Husband's revenge story. And so
are you talking like a mortal man?
Yep, a mortal man getting his revenge on the gods.
Ooh, that's intense.
Right. And so I've got Act 1. It's 5 songs. I'm working on mixing it right now. And I tried to hire somebody to sing it actually, and that fell through. And so I sing it myself. So that's mixing your own voice is awful. I don't recommend it.
Is it just you just never happy like with the mix or something?
Yeah, it's
like
just
hearing
weird.
your own voice or something. Like,
yeah, it's just weird hearing your own voice and thinking about it objectively.
Yeah.
Like, I need to sing this part differently this time, kind of thing. And it's just kind of weird.
I'd have to bring in like a third party. Does this suck or not?
Right.
I have no idea.
That's why I'm lucky to have Dan Freitag, because he mastered my first album, and I'm gonna send this one to him. He doesn't know it yet, but he's good at being honest and telling me what I need to do. So yeah, but yeah, in my mind, it's gonna be like my protest album, because it's kind of about people with power, using their power, abusing their power, whatever, and innocent people being affected by it. So like drone attacks or like anything anybody does where they have their own bullshit motives, whatever they may be, and then the innocent common man is affected by it.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, this mortal man who his life is a fucking disaster now because Hera and Zeus had like a lover's quarrel. Like,
why are you even fucking mortals, dude?
Yeah,
Look at
right?
the other goddesses.
Yeah, he was always a fucking slut for the mortals. Yeah. But yeah,
it's not good look, Zeus.
So that one's coming out soon. The next one I'm working on is back when I was watching a lot of Westworld, I wrote a bunch of Western themes, and I was watching a bunch of the composer is Ennio. I can never say his last name. The Italian composer who did The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Morricone. This is embarrassing, but that guy. So listening to a lot of that and watching a lot of Westworld, I decided to do like a Western, kind of soundtrack.
Nice.
And so that one, I'm actually going. So it's going to be just like a movie soundtrack, and then I'm writing a companion novel to it. So I want to write like a Western novella, like those 10-cent novels that they used to do. So I want to try to write one of those, which will be like my biggest writing endeavor. So we'll see how that goes.
How long would that be? Like pages or?
I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where like I have an outline of the story. I'm just gonna see how long it goes.
Yeah.
I would like it to be short because it's my first ever like writing thing like in that style, and I don't want to. If I want it for it to be bad, so I'm gonna keep it nice and tight. But I've been learning a lot about writers, and sometimes you just can't dictate how long something's going to be. You don't want to constrict yourself, constrict the story. And so we'll see. That one's probably going to take me a while.
Because how long is like a novella supposed to be?
So I've read one. I found a bunch of them online, and they're like 200 pages or under, which seems like a lot for
it's like, yeah, I mean,
for the name novella.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was like 100. Because, like, I mean, if you over 200 or so, does that just it turns into a novel? They'll just call it a novel,
right? And at first, I was gonna try to do it as a short story, but the story I picked to do it for is necessitating more than just it being a short story. So we'll see how that goes.
You're gonna publish it, right?
Yeah, and I don't know how I'm gonna do that.
Dude, there's lots of people locally that have been self-publishing because you can do that through Amazon now.
Right. So. Yeah, I use this awesome writing software called Scrivener.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's fucking dope. I love it. It's super helpful and useful. But
what is that? What does Scrivener do? Is that just like a...
So it's a word processor, so it's kind of like Microsoft Word, but it's like the way it's set up, it's really good at organizing your work in your folders. So you have like your research folders right there.
Okay.
Like it's just a way for you to easily access all the information you need, and then like the writing flow is like tailored to like writers and novelists and stuff like that. And then like when you export it, it's really helpful too, because it'll export it in a PDF. It'll format it into like a novel PDF style, and that like the script I wrote for Animal Corey 1, it like exported it as like a legit looking script.
Nice.
So it's super dope. It was like $45 for one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was really cool.
And you can get that through like PC or Mac?
Yeah, I have it on Mac, and I'm pretty sure you can get it on PC.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a really if anybody's looking to write, do that. Get Scrivener.
Man, I'm sure it probably has like spell check and all that. Like when I'm online, I've been using this thing called Grammarly. That's good for like when you're online posting shit, so you don't look like that much of an idiot.
Right.
It checks your
I'm really bad at spelling. I'm like, honestly, for the amount I read and try to write, I'm an awful speller. Like, I'm glad I don't have to handwrite anything anymore. So yeah, it has all that good stuff. It checks your grammar and your spelling and all that. It's just like Word, but more tailored to specifically writing projects. And it's pretty dope.
Yeah, once I start, like, if I'm writing more, I should probably get into something like that, because I'll just write. We've been working on developing like our own little show ideas and shit too and I just write the scripts myself on like Google Docs or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like, but that'd probably come in handy. But
oh yeah,
I would love to write a book someday. That's on my bucket list for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I'm gonna write.
Yeah, I mean that's what a problem I ran into writing Animal Corey 1, because that was like my official first like project, writing project. Is infinite possibilities. You can make your characters do anything and everything. So what do you make them do? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you kind of have to come up with a plot first, because you need them to have objectives and goals and end game and all that kind of stuff. But even then, you can make them do anything. Yeah. So what do you want to make them do? It's like, oh my God. Pretty crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Writing a novel style is going to be pretty interesting. I also want to do I'm really into sci-fi fantasy, like nerd stuff, like George R.R. Martin's. I've read all the Song of Ice and Fire, and I'm reading these books by this guy named Brandon Sanderson, who's like a really good fantasy author. His big thing is world building. Like, he's one of the best world builders ever. And so he's one of the people I've been watching all these college classes on. He's a lecturer, and yeah, doing something like that where it's like a sci-fi fantasy world building, I would like to do, because that's super infinite possibilities.
Oh yeah.
Like, you're literally building a world. So that'd be cool.
So many details and everything.
Yeah.
I wonder if I would ever be qualified enough to write some kind of nonfiction book. I have no idea what that
like
could
a
be.
research book or something.
Yeah, about some topic. I don't know.
Whatever you're
Probably
interested
not.
in.
I'm too dumb.
Nah, you just gotta do good research.
And then if I wrote a fiction book, I don't even know what I'd write. Maybe I could write some kids books. get some money off of that.
Yeah, start there.
Illustrate them too or something.
Yeah, so you draw, you illustrate.
Yeah, a
Do
bit.
you ever animate?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, a little bit
Cool.
here and there, but yeah.
Well, it's hard because, you know, I've been
also
writing.
working on that, developing, getting better,
Right.
trying to.
Well, because half the reason Animal Quarry 1 turned out the way it did is because, you know, nobody was going to film the movie. So I had to make it a concept album.
I think we need to bring in more of our local community because, like,
Right.
you know, I know a couple people that have like
Yeah, if you know
local
anybody that
film
are
studios or whatever.
animators or something like
Yeah.
that, or anybody working on a movie I could try to score, that'd be dope.
Yeah. Our problem is we need more animators. It's like me and one of my buddies that does the MOB stuff with us. It's like, that's it. It's just us two, really.
Yeah.
And I'm by no means, I guess I'm an animator, but I'm not like very good or anything. I'm hardly an artist. I don't know, but I'm getting there. We're getting better and shit.
Oh, yeah.
And the problem is like, for animation is like, I gotta get like a good software and tablet.
Oh, yeah.
Using like low level shit really sucks.
Oh,
I have
I'm
like
sure.
a little like Samsung tablet, and like there's an app that's like $5 called like Rough Animator, and that's just horrific. It's all right.
Sure.
Yeah, I've done some cool stuff with it, and it's fun and great learning tool. But
Yeah.
it's shitty in the sense like it could crash or things will glitch out or whatever. And then like my stylus is fucked up. It's like, what the
man.
fuck? I
just
can't
wish,
do it.
you know, we have the drive to do all these things, but I mean, I maxed out a Guitar Center credit card to get where I'm at.
Yeah.
It just sucks because, you know, a lot of people have these potentials, but no means to do anything with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it kind of sucks. Like if I had $1,000 right now, I'd be set. Like
know,
I'd
right?
put out the best Rude Punch single ever.
Yeah, definitely.
That's just not how it works.
Yeah, I imagine that my whole life I'm just gonna be buying gear my whole life. Just
Right. Yeah.
saving up, paying off debt, buying gear,
Same.
whatever. There's always something.
Same
but
here, bud.
I'm not sick of it. I love it.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'll never get tired of it.
Hell yeah,
That's what's nice about doing what you love.
most definitely.
I'm just slamming waters over here.
Oh,
I
man.
had a deep dish pizza earlier.
Oh,
I feel
yeah?
like it sucked all the moisture out
Oh my
of
god.
body.
Jesus. Yeah,
It's good
it's
stuff.
getting hot, and it's getting hot now. We're gonna have to get some AC soon. Then we have to just yell over the AC. Can you hear?
Can you hear this? Yeah, we played a show in a parking lot last night, and we were like battling over a generator.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Must
It
be
was-
a loud generator.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I'm
Yeah.
exaggerating, but yeah, it was kind of funny. We're like, can you mic up that generator? We like its sound.
Right. Man, so anything else? What you said you're working on a single and all that, and
Yeah,
The
Rude
Rude
Punch
Punch.
single. I've got. I don't have an overarching name for the Americana Greek myth thing. But the first act's called Dark Wings, Dark Words.
okay.
So that'll be out soon. I'm gonna say within a month. Let's just say within a month.
Nice.
And other than that, nothing really coming out. I'll have that Western thing done whenever. It might be I just put out the music first and then be like, a novel will come.
Dude, we should make a spaghetti Western film, like an
If you want to do
old
that,
school, like
I'll give you a rundown of the story and
yeah,
see
black
what.
and white or some shit.
Yeah,
Like,
that'd be dope.
whatever.
That'd
Man,
be dope.
you said what were some of the other ideas for those concept albums you're?
Let's see. I've got one. This one's like super cheesy, but I'm gonna do it anyway, and it could probably be a musical or something.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, right. So this guy is a songwriter, and he's like one of the behind the scenes songwriters, where he writes the songs for other people to sing, and he's a really, really good songwriter, but he can't sing very well, and you know that's been always like his deepest regret, that he can't sing well, and he writes, you know, this most beautiful love song for this woman, and gives it to the best singer in the country, and he sings it, and the guy's like, this is the best song ever, like this woman's gonna hear it and she's gonna fall in love with me. And of course she falls in love with the guy who sings the song.
No.
So that's like the premise I'm working with right now, is like, yeah, that songwriter who, you know, writes that song and the girl falls in love with the wrong guy. So it kind of sounds, you know, it's kind of cheesy, but there's some good themes in there.
No,
all
that seems
kind
like
of
a
stuff.
legit like idea. Like it's,
Yeah.
let's make a fucking take that shit to Hollywood, pitch that script
Yeah,
or
right.
something.
And then the only other one I have sussed out right now is, I was reading this book called Miss of Avalon, and it's about like King Arthur and like all that stuff, but it's more like it's all from the women's perspective. So like Morgaine, the Lady of the Lake, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's super like Druids versus Christians. And so I wrote, I only have one song, but it's just this metal album about the downfall of the Druids and Christianity taking over. And I've written one song, had the lyrics done. Dan said he'd do some drums for it and probably vocals. I'll probably need him for vocals for sure.
We're gonna need you for vocals, Dan.
Please. So yeah, and that's gonna be a cool one. It's like I was listening to a lot of Opeth, which is like this really dope metal band my buddy Brandon got me listening to, and I really dug their sound, so I kind of copped their sound a little bit, and it's kind of cool. It's gonna be cool, and so I got the story sussed out, and just need to get it in the studio. And that's about it. I think that's about all the concept albums.
Man, you're staying busy.
Yeah, I've got to, man.
Yeah, same, man. I'm telling you, I'll go crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this is awesome. This is a cool setup you got here.
Oh yeah, it's very chill. And yeah, thank you again for being here.
Yeah, no problem.
It was a great time, but shit,
I'm running out of stuff to say for sure, and I ran out of water.
We're out of water, so we have to cut it off. I'll give you my water here.
No, you're fine. You know, if your mouth's ever dry, or commonly called cotton mouth, you can hear the clickety clacks.
I know, it's like
I gotta stop talking.
No, it's okay. We're gonna go into some ASMR fucking like recording shit. I was a guest on a podcast one time and I had that problem. I was like, fuck.
And those mics for sure, that'll pick it up.
Of course, right? Hell yeah, motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, man.
Number 30. Check it out. Oh yeah, tell them how to fucking, where are they gonna hear your shit?
All right, all you have to do is go to Apple Music or Spotify or Bandcamp or YouTube. All my stuff will be under Murray Lee, so that would be like your artist name, your band name. Just look it up on there. If you go to Bandcamp, the album's for sale for $5. You get the MP3, and that like super helps me out. I kind of did it as like, that's my crowdfunding, is pay $5 for the album, and then it kind of supports me putting out more albums, because I do all this stuff out of pocket, which I'm fine with. But all the help I can get is great.
Most definitely, yeah. And
awesome.
Drop
well, thanks
a
for
like.
having me on,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, no problem.
This is great. This is my first podcast.
First podcast. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
We'll get you on some more or some shit.
Dope.
Yeah, go drop them a fucking like, Rude Punch, Modern Myths, all that shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Peace. See ya.